Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 27th of November. Okay, so bit of a mixed old week ahead. We've got non-farm payrolls on Friday, with the first being first. Of course, with Cyber Monday today. There's not a great deal of action out there this week to be aware of. The big stories, we've got the Reserve Bank of New Zealand reporting, and there's a few sort of lesser data numbers coming through. So Australian inflation on Wednesday, it's quite a quiet week ahead. So let's have a look technically at what's happening. I'm sitting here looking. Now I'm going to go through these pretty quickly this morning. The euro dollar looks like it's got scope for a continuation to the upside. It's just, well, had its retracement. It actually used its regression channel to bounce off of. At the moment, it's looking at this 4 hourlies. We'll see what happens. But I'd almost rather be buying off the weekly pivot for the long side than trying to do anything where it is at the moment. It's already pretty much done its potential move for today in terms of touch just short of the pivot, shy of the daily pivot point, and hit the R1. Has got resistance right in front of it, so it doesn't look attractive to me at this stage. The pound dollars are pretty similar. It's got a decent move up, although slowly. Obviously on Friday it was never going to see a major moves, but saying that, they did move reasonably well. Seen them move less. So today at the moment just catching a bit of a retrace, but I could be interested on the long side, but it's just again getting in. This could be one, if it doesn't get back to its daily pivot and reverses, could be okay for its R1 R2 area. Now if you're intraday trading, that is, it's all a bit iffy where it's sitting at the moment. I guess it's like the dollar in a sense. It's just got it's running into its monthly resistance levels there, and maybe got a bit of divergence over the highs here. Again, the call from the weekly pivot might be just too much. So we'll see. US dollar yen, he says waiting for it to appear properly, and it's there. So this has retraced back to its weekly. It's whether or not this can continue through this week. It's sort of flattened out the last couple of days of last week. It was doing pretty well on the downside. It started to move. So really it's just a case of waiting here. Perhaps this morning, if it can continue through these lows here, it could be reasonable for its S1. It's not necessarily the place I'd like it to be to start shorting it, but if it breaks back below that weekly, I think I'll look for a go with there. Aussie dollar's a bit more messy. It too though is trying to push up there. The problem with most of these, and we're seeing, is that they're not far from previous highs, and we're just finding some resistance. The supply areas up there, and this is reacting, spiking away again at the moment, not looking particularly pretty. So best left at the moment, although at some stage the more we're tapping on the tops here, and the more frequently we're doing it, the more likely it is to break and run through. US dollar CAD probably looking the best this morning in terms of its overall price action and everything that goes with it. We've seen the lower highs coming through on the dailies now. It's a little bit more solid than it had been. There's the lower highs. It had pitched up pretty much to its weekly pivot, and currently it looks probably about the cleanest here. Wait until what happens post 8 o'clock, but this to me looks like a half decent move or potential move. The other markets, the euro and pound, are pushing up. This should be pushing downwards, and it looks like probably the best of the bunch. The other markets, I keep coming back to CAD markets, basically the euro CAD. There's no point already looking at New Zealand dollar as Swiss has gone quite flat over a number of days. If we look at the Euro CAD, is another one that's it's dailies, it's not that convincing. The weeklies, there you go, it's sort of just, sorry, weeklies, the 4 hourlies on the weekly pivots just rolling over somewhat here, and the dailies just coming down a tad here as well. And maybe we'll get a continuation on this. If we see a weaker euro this morning and the Canadian dollar can hold its ground, perhaps it will roll over. It's got lower highs, lower lows running through this, but we'll just have to be patient. It's so close to these prior highs. I'd much prefer it to be trading on the long side. Anyway, there we go. Not a great deal this morning. The US dollar CAD, in summary, being the best of those. The Forex pairs, just for the matter of keeping those gold traders happy. Where have we gone here? This is just checking. I've got a daily chart on here. It seems it's obviously lost some of the prior price action there, and it wasn't looking as pretty as this, but anyway, remains pretty. It remains on the long side. Remained on the longer side there in terms of movement. It's consolidating where it is at the moment, not necessarily a trade from where it is, but overall opportunities on retracements. I mean, we saw it last week back into its weekly pivot and off it went, and well, it's ended and surpassed the R1. These are sort of movements I absolutely love. So if it was to come back and we saw something similar, that would be rather nice. Please. Oil, that's all I can say there. It's still looking on the softer side of things here. I haven't looked at my commitment to traders report yet to see how that was sitting, but last week it was certainly looking weak, and we were supposed to have an OPEC meeting, and that was, I believe, cancelled, and it's all gone pretty quiet on it since. Anyway, yeah, just looking like a continuation for the downside at this stage. Now an OPEC meeting might change all that, but the S&Ps holding up there around the highs here. Maybe today we'll get a kicker again. As I've not wanted to be selling these, even though the sentiment had been drawing out. Perhaps things are changing. If you look at it on the 4 hourly picture, I'll just bring this down a little bit, tidy it up. It's not gonna. Oh, there we are. It's just gaining a lovely bounce off the weekly pivot here. Now this could be on for a bit of a continuation off this. This is one of my favourite sort of little setups there, really. So some potential if you're looking at S&Ps. Looking through, let's have a look at the DAX. DAX hasn't quite done it. It's a shame. It's saying just almost close that off. Almost closing my page here. DAX is pushed up similarly, but not great. And the FTSE consolidation here and not really going anywhere. Still pretty dull. So the DAX just just not pulled back. It might be interesting if you're sort of swinging it. If it had pulled back to the pivot, it would have been much nicer, giving it some support there. As it happens, it could still be rolling over. Right, okay, that's pretty much it for me for this morning. I wish you a great day's trading, and I will catch you in the morning. Take care. Bye for now. Right, let's